Welcome to Planning Phase Syndicate, episode 15 for our Star Wars Unlimited podcast, folks. This is our 15th episode. It is not to be dwarfed by the over 100 episodes we did for X-Wing, but we are here with a new podcast for Unlimited that we are excited to talk about this weekend's two $1,000 tournaments that happened out in Iowa and in Oregon. Very excited to talk about the meta. This is kind of like what we used to do a lot on our last podcast for X-Wing, where we would talk everything that we could about all of the different lists that are coming out. And these lists excite me. There's going to be some crazy surprises in the road ahead in some of these lists. Want a quick reminder, if you are listening to us on the podcast and not watching us on YouTube, I highly recommend please go subscribe to our YouTube channel. We are doing deck tech videos and special segments that are releasing only on the YouTube platform, mainly because it really only fits on the YouTube platform, more so than the podcast platform. So that's why we're doing some of these videos. But if you haven't yet, help us increase our subscriber base so that way we can get more content out to you. And maybe at some point, maybe FFG will recognize us. You never know. We also are going to talk a little bit about OP announcements tonight. So there's kind of some OP stuff that they released last week, Wednesday, that we want to cover. Nothing real big, but some cool things that are coming for what they're going to call Season 0. We'll get to that in a few minutes. And if we have time, which we probably will, JJ decided to be the guinea pig tonight, and he gave us a deck and said, hey, Alex and Chris, will you tweak my deck? Because I want to know exactly what I should do to make it better. So we're going to do that segment for our For a Cause I Believe In. With that being said, why don't I bring in my co-host for tonight? Please welcome to the show, JJ. Your hat should come off so that you match all of us and not wear that ugly thing. How are you tonight, sir?
So my wife decided that she wanted to cut my overgrown hair and do experiments to it, and I've lived putting on this hat because I really don't like the haircut, even though I've had a lot of people tell me that it actually looks good. And I'll show it for the camera. It looks like crap because I've had my hat on, but
just essentially
it's party in the front and business in the back, essentially.
No, take it off. You got to keep the hat off. It's for the podcast, JJ. It looks good. Just ruffle your hair a little bit. Just ruffle your hair a little bit. Your wife did a nice job. I love it. There you go.
Oh man, but other than that, just been playing the hell out of SWU this week. I'm just getting really excited with the new set 2 packs and just playing a ton of different games. Having a lot of fun updating my Tarkin deck and playing that a lot. That's been so much fun, and playing a lot with Han Blue with Wookiees, and I've just been back and forth with those two decks a lot. Those are just so much fun to play.
Yeah, you should check out. I sent you a list from somebody that I was talking with about Blue Han. So I don't know if it's like your list. I can't remember what your list is anymore. But I did send it to you, and I said, "Hey, here's a Blue Han list." And we're talking young Han, not new, not old man.
The new red young Han,
baby Han.
Tarful has just been so fun. Like when you suggested it, I immediately put in Tarful, and man, it just pumped up the value on that deck.
Yeah, I love me some Tarful. Also joining us tonight is a bench warmer himself, Mr. Alex. How are you tonight, sir?
Oh, I'm doing okay. Didn't do anything super crazy. Unfortunately, I haven't had a lot of time to play any SWU this week. Played it just a couple times, nothing crazy.
Awesome. Well, I had an okay weekend. I played. We did our locals finally on Wednesday. Now that I was back from vacation, and I ended up with a Jabba deck because I had the showcase that I pulled, so it was kind of hard not to build a Jabba deck. So I built a Jabba deck. I went basically 4-1. I only lost that bloody Tarkin deck, and that was it. I've also been playing that Tarkin deck a little bit more, though. At first, I was initially very scared. It just feels like we just got to tech a little bit for it. My Jabba deck only had like two space units. So I switched it back up again because of the way that I built the deck specifically to be super aggro ground. I could do like the surprise, the strike stuff in the sky. It did not. It worked very well outside of that one bloody deck. That deck was not super fun to play against. But we had a really good turnout at our locals. We'll encourage everybody who's not going to locals. You should go to locals. It's fun to do. So
But most of my locals are running like some variation of the triple dark raid deck, be it a Grand Inquisitor or a Tarkin or whatever.
Yeah, I actually haven't played against the Grand Inquisitor one. People must just not be playing Grand Inquisitor online as much because I've not ran into it like I have been running into like Han or Kylo. I've been running into Kylo like crazy lately too. So
yeah, this guy was a dedicated like yellow Grand Inquisitor player in set 1. So now he's just like, oh my god, my deck's good.
Oh man. How does he get? So he can't ready that tie? I guess he could ready it if it gets experience tokens on it, but I don't know how.
He also has smuggling compartments and stuff.
Oh.
So it gives him the +1/+1. Usually bumps up his ships to like a 3 attack power, which is the right threshold for that. He's got actually a bunch of mining guild ties, so you can do like swing in, get a smuggling compartment, ready a resource, and then pay 2 resources to draw a card. It's kind of nice. It's funny when everything just gets force lightninged, but it's fun.
Fair enough. That's the hidden tech card people aren't using it unless you're running Palp, right?
I was playing Vader Blue when I'm main decking Force Lightning and make an opening. Those ties don't mean not too much to me. The Phantoms.
Yeah. Remember when I was running Force Lightning, and this is going to take us back to like April, but I was running Force Lightning in my Palp red deck, and you're like, take that out of there. You don't need that. And now look, now we're running Force Lightning again.
Yeah, they made cards where Force Lightning's actually useful, as opposed to set 1 where it still wasn't.
Yeah, I think the best was I've been playing Palp Green a lot. Like I don't think I like it more than I like Palp Red, but it just seems to be the hot flavor, and we'll talk about that here in a few minutes. But I've been playing a lot of Palp Green anyway, just because like it's very easy at my house because we have 4 people that play. It's very easy for me if I pick a mono color. I don't usually have to worry about a lot of overlap, right? Like because I'm running a lot of the double aspect cards and yada yada yada. So at my house, it's easy for me to just play that, and so I've been playing a ton of green Palp, and now it's going to be people are going to be so pissed because I'm going to play it probably on Wednesday, and people are going to be like, "Yeah, look at you ripping off that other guy's deck," and I'm like, "No, I'm not actually ripping off his deck." I talked with the guy a little bit about a week ago with him, and I exchanged ideas on our decks, and mine's a little bit different than his, but he was the one that turned me on to the lackeys and what the lackeys actually can do to stop people that are being very dirty with some of their crate dragons and different things like that, and like there's ways to get these cards out of your hand, out of your resource area, and it's allowing you to basically be able to play them. We will probably do a Palp Green deck tech just because it's fun. I don't know, maybe I'll message the guy, maybe he'll come on and join us or something like that. I don't know.
That would be build a Palpatine Green yesterday that I want to try out. I'll be running that probably Monday, Tuesday. Yeah.
So super fun. Been playing a lot of Kylo Aggression too. Again, these double aspects. It's just me and double aspects, I think. I just like my double aspects. But I've been playing a lot of Kylo Aggression too. I think Kylo is giving Mono Sabine a run for her money as well. So I don't know.
But is it better than Darksaber Sabine? That's the real question.
I don't know. Probably not. Yeah, I know, which is why like Red Palp is even better into that because you just put your power failures in. Oh, going to sideboard these power failures in, whereas you have to pay 4 if you want them in Green Palp. So I will tell you, the Lurky TIE Phantom became a million times less scary when I started running Traitorous again. So, like, oh, you just boosted your 3-cost ship. Thank you. Like, thank you for that.
Yeah, people forgot about it, man. Traitorous, like all the pumping up between like Gar Saxon and Rey, especially, and those lurking TIE Phantoms and all that stuff. Traitorous still really hoses a lot of things.
Yeah, I had a guy get really pissed because he swung in for 7 with his TIE Phantom, and I put Traitorous on it, and I stole it from him. And then I had one more resource left, and he like typed in the chat. He's like, "Just wait till next turn. I'm going to take that back." And so I Palped it. Because it's no longer an enemy unit, right?
Right,
so you
right.
Just Palp it. He was like, "You can't do that." I was like, "Yes, I can. It's not an enemy card anymore. It's a friendly." And he was like, "It shouldn't work like that." I was like, "It did." I was like, "You should have told me what you were going to do." I actually was just going to take the unit and use it. But like after you told me that, whatever, 6 resources to get rid of it. I guess it's like it's like that Rivals Fall finally worked all of a sudden. And I got to draw. And I drew Maul. That was the even better thing is I drew Maul, and then I was able to use Maul against him. And oh man, Maul is just so dirty. People. I think I don't care what people are saying about Vader. I still like my Maul better, but maybe I'm a little biased here.
That depends on the composition of your deck, right? If you don't have a lot of underworld units, Maul doesn't really do too much. I mean, he's got the 7 attack reach, which is nice. But Vader brings out an extra unit.
Yeah.
All right. Awesome. Well, why don't we go ahead and let's begin. Why don't we talk about let's go through our Galactic Gazette segment where we're going to cover all the topics, news, and spoilers that come from FFG. All right, folks. Welcome to our Galactic Gazette segment. We're going to talk a little bit about the news that got released on Thursday from FFG. This is talking a little bit about their Churn Zero play, or not Churn Zero, their Season Zero, kind of what OP is going to look like. I want to give a shout out to the Garbage Rollers. They put a nice article together. Going to have it linked right in the description. We're going to use some of their article because it was so nicely put together. If you would be gracious enough, click on the article, give them the link in the click so that they get the credit for it as well. But they put together a lot of the stuff, and I just wanted to go through it. So essentially, FFG came on and they told us that they're going to have something called Season Zero, which I don't know, like, are we going to call it Sub-Zero, like Sub-Season Zero? Is that what we get to call it? Like, I don't know. Maybe I'm playing too much Mortal Kombat with my son, but like, they essentially told us that Galactic Championships are going to be in the summer next year. He says there will be no point system. So if you remember, we had discussed a little bit when we first started, there was a point system kind of like what they do in some of the other games where you win so many store champs, you get X amount of points, and you're going to get into basically what a Galactic Championship, which is like a Worlds, if you're from the X-Wing world, right? You know, and so essentially they're going to keep it open invite, except for they're going to have a capacity. So when they make that announcement, if you're going to go, you're going to have to be online. Like I'm taking whatever day that is, I'm taking a half day whenever they release tickets for it, just so I can sit on my computer and hit refresh. And I don't know, maybe if Alex or JJ is going to go too, maybe we'll all just take half days and we'll stream it together. We'll just we'll sit on our stream and just talk shit, and we'll click on the button, because I want to go to the inaugural one no matter what, because it might be our only chance, especially given our win rate sometimes. So we're gonna go. Sometimes we don't have the best of luck, so we're gonna go for the first year. But essentially they're gonna talk to us a little bit more. But essentially the first season of competitive play, of organized play, is gonna start here very shortly in the fall. And then what's going to happen is it's going to go all the way into next summer. And then next summer, they're going to essentially talk to us about at the convention or whatever they want to call it. We don't know where it's going to be. We know it's not going to be Adepticon. So there's that. I'm hoping it's not Gen Con, though I have a bad feeling it might be Gen Con. That's my genuine feeling that it's going to be Gen Con. But we'll see. We'll see. They also talked a little bit about planetary qualifiers, and basically if you win a planetary qualifier, which we'll talk about what those are in a second, but if you win one, you get an automatic invite to day 2 of the Galactic Championship. So my assumption is day 1 of the Galactic Championship, which they didn't say, but day 1's going to be a play-in, and then day 2 is when like they would consider the actual competitive championship. So I'm guessing this is going to be a 3 or 4 day event. It'll probably start on a Thursday. Day 2 will be a Friday. Day 3 will be wrapping it up. I'll be very interested to see how they do cuts, like what they're going to do. Is it going to be like X-Wing where they only cut to the top 16? I'm guessing not. I can't remember back in Destiny days. And I remember, Alex, did you play that? You didn't play Destiny, did you?
No.
Okay. So I'm trying to remember back in the Destiny days, like if it was top 32 or not. I'll have to go back and look. But planetary qualifiers, JJ, tell us what a planetary qualifier is.
So planetary qualifier are run worldwide. They're going to start in October, and the amount ran will triple or quadruple depending on your location, starting in September 3rd. In set 3, they expect to run about 150 of those qualifiers there, and as soon as a planetary qualifier kit comes in, the guys over at my gosh, I just
FFG.
forgot their names. Yeah, they're gonna unbox it live on stream there.
Yeah. So I think just so you know, set 3 is not in September, thank God. It's November. Because I thought you said September, and I was like, no.
No.
My pocketbook cannot afford another set.
Exactly
right
what I was gonna say. I need to start pulling some showcases, man.
So that's exciting. I think a planetary qualifier minimum people attendance had to be set for 64. So your store has to hold 64 spots. So Alex, I don't know. Does any of the stores on the East have a spot for 64 players? Is it Eternal?
Both Eternals do. Pandemonium does. Destiny actually technically could. The store that I run stuff out. I'm sure there's plenty of space at other, places like Upkeep. I think out in Howell probably can do it. So it'd be fun. You can do it.
Awesome. Yeah. So if this happens, hopefully they schedule planetary qualifiers. Like what I would hope they would do is let's just schedule them on like a Friday, Saturday, Sunday in Detroit. So like talk to your stores, Alex, because I'll come out and I'll work the day at one of the hospitals out there. And then I don't know where I'll stay. I'll figure that out. But I'm just gonna stay for 3 days, and I'll just go to all of them. Or I'll go to Alex just offered. I'm going to Alex's house. I'll sleep on his couch or whatever. And I'm going to hang out with Alex. And I'm going for a whole weekend. So I already had to tell the wife a little bit. By the way, in November, December, no vacations can be planned because if we get all these planetary qualifier kits and they all happen like in one weekend in Detroit, I want to go to as many of them as I can. I don't care how long and grueling they are. I want to go. So
yeah, you'll see the family at Thanksgiving and Christmas, and that's fine.
Yeah, just every other weekend I'll be hanging out with Alex. It'll be me. It'll be Chris and Alex. It'll be the Chris and Alex show. JG, you'll have to come in. So I'm excited for that. One of the other announcements is the tournament software. They're going to fix it or get new tournament software. One of the two. We don't know which. But guess what? Season 0 starts in October. There you go. Like that's the official. It starts in October. Everything else that we've had, so we will have software by October. I really wish that they would just utilize one of the other softwares, and let us just do that. I don't know which one would be the best. I mean, I'm using Best Coast Pairings, but it's not my favorite software. So I don't know. Alex, what are you using out there?
It depends. If it's like an official event, I forgot the website, or like if it's kind of a big event where like trying to schedule actually matters, we were using something else, and I'm blanking on the name right now. But otherwise, it's just been like FFG's kind of garbage program.
Gotcha.
So,
and then I think the last one that we had was a judge program. Alex, did you sign up for the judge program yet?
I did do the whole like interest form thing. Yes.
Okay. So they have, we have the link in our description as well. Cascade. I've never worked with Cascade games, so I don't know how good they are. AMG never made us work with companies.
Cascade worked with FFG for X-Wing.
Did they? Okay.
Yeah. Yes. Yeah, they did for a while.
They've run a few tournaments, big tournaments for Asmodee in general.
It seemed to work fine.
Mm-hmm.
You're killing me. Anyway, so you can sign up for a judge program. I signed up I did my interest survey as well, and I don't know how much I want to run a big event. How about that? There's that answer. But I do want to run. Sure, we can post it in the chat. Just give me a second. We will. I do want to run something myself out here where we get official judging, but I don't know if I want to run like a 200 or 300 person event. That sounds like a lot of work.
Yeah.
I could
Especially
be wrong.
when you consider drops and stuff, it gets complicated really quick.
So, but either which way, we do have that one. We have that link in the description, so that way of the video, and then we'll post it here in the chat and Twitch in a second. But we do have that if you're interested in it. sign up for it. I think everybody who's done some judging should sign up, because I think we're going to need judges. My feeling is the game's growing more popular by the day. So I have a feeling we're going to need a lot of judges. But
And
could be wrong.
if I remember correctly, the judges that participate get a pretty sweet card, don't they? A judge's card.
It wouldn't surprise me if they get
It comes
something.
with the kits usually.
Well, the ones with the kits are okay. I don't know how to like tell you.
I
don't
think
know
in
how to
X-Wing they got like templates and stuff, so whatever the rough equivalent would be for unlimited.
Yes.
So I don't know, something like that. It'd be fun. It'd be nice to yell at people that I'm like, I'm a judge. Leave me alone.
Fair enough.
No, it doesn't work that way. Or yes, you can in fact choose the TIE Phantom. It just doesn't do any damage. It's okay.
There you go. It is in the chat for you all now. So I don't know. I'm excited. I'm excited for OP to start. How about that?
Yeah.
So
Definitely.
I am very, 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 very excited. I've actually we opened some of the OP stuff this week. I got a Hyperfoil Django, by the way. That was pretty cool. I'm not as excited as the boss or the Greedos, and which, you know what sucks is I'm not running Greedo as much in my decks. Like, I have 3 Hyperfoil Greedos, and I'm not even able to run all of them because, like, freaking CAD and some of these other things it used to just be Vader, right? Now it's not just Vader; it's like everybody. Everybody can just ping it.
I mean, yeah, sure, but like Greedo's still pretty good.
But anyway, so it's fun. All right, so we do our tournament results. Is that the thing we should do next, or do you want to critique JJ next?
Well, let's do the tournament. That's interesting.
All right. So here we are. We are going to do tournament results for the meta. Essentially, this is the Portland 1K. We don't have as many of the all the information for all the decks. We only actually have 2 decks from this that I could find. But I'll be honest, I kind of stopped scouring the internet after 5 o'clock today and went and did family stuff. But here they are. Here we go. We have the first one is the top 8. There's 4 mono Bobas, 1 green Sabine, 1 new Han red, which is hilarious because we thought Han green was going to be a big thing, and here's mono red, Old Man Han green, and Ray red, which is not really super surprising.
Does it bother you guys that they specified old and new Han, but they didn't specify old and new Boba?
No, because technically we haven't seen Old Man Boba show up yet. How about that?
I mean, he's a solid thing. It's just, yes, all the mono Bobas are referring to the older yellow, double yellow Bobas.
Yeah, that's young man Boba. That's young man Boba.
Scum Boba.
It's Empire Strikes Back Boba. Yes.
So top 4 was both the yellow Bobas, 1 Sabine, 1 green Han. Finals was mono Boba versus Old Man Han, and they took it down. So here is the yellow Boba deck. JJ, what is in this deck?
So we got here basically double yellow Boba here. He's got 2 copies of Greedo. He has 2 cartel spacers. He's got 3 no good to be deads. We got 2 shoot first, 3 crafty smugglers. He's also got 2 Viper droids there as well. 2 Bazine Natals, which is actually really interesting. I definitely like that card included in this one here. Kind of helps pamper your opponent's cards there. Then we got 3 copies of Boba. Yeah. Sorry. Especially when you start returning cards back into their hands and then play Bazine and just discard it. Like it's great. Mm-hmm. Next up, we got 3 copies of Surprise Strike, 2 copies of that Rogue class fighter. I love that card. We got
mercenary gunship.
Yeah, the mercenary gunship. We got 3 copies of the Boba Fett ground unit, 3 copies of the 7th Fleet Defender, 3 copies of Bodhi. Got 3 copies of Waylay, which is a staple in this deck. Got 1 single copy of the TIE Phantom. Um, and then we also got here a copy here of the Relentless Pursuit, which is a really, really good card. I definitely like that a lot there. 3 copies Cunning, 3 Gamorrean Guards, which are excellent sentinels for this deck. We got 5 Cantina Bouncers, 3 copies of the Syndicate Lackeys, which are great ambush cards for their cost, and then 3 copies of the Fed Fire Spray there. And then we got some additional Bazine, TIE Interceptors, Relentless Pursuit, 4 Lam and Succus, as well as Boba Fett's armor. And the last one here is
Final Showdown.
Final Showdown, yeah, which is a really spicy card to have here for this particular deck. But I figure if your units are healthy enough, I mean, you can pull that off pretty good. But yeah, really good deck there. Lots of control with returning cards into your hand, discarding them from your hand. I definitely like the Boba Fett armor. That is just a card that's just so useful for either the Boba leader or the ground unit. Just being able to negate damage while it has it equipped is just so good. It is pretty much a staple for any list or any deck that I include Boba with. I just have to have it in the list. So yeah.
Yeah, so I think one of the big notable changes too that we missed last week when we did our rules update is deck lists for Swiss are no longer required. So I know all these tournaments are whatever, they're off kilter tournaments, right? They're not specifically FFG sanctioned, yada yada yada, whatever. So I think right there that's the thing is like you could put spice in your deck and be okay. I will honestly tell you I don't understand why you only have 1 Lurking TIE Phantom in there. Why not just get rid of it? Like you could,
yeah.
I don't know. There's other things like I like it. Either deal with it or don't deal with it. I understand the 1 Relentless Pursuit because that's a shield for Boba, right? Like the idea behind that is to give Boba a shield. If you don't play it, it's just a resource card. But this is very similar to the Bobby Sapphire KTOD deck that took it down. I will say the Syndicate Lackeys 100% is a recommended upgrade to Bosk right now. For the pure fact that it's same cost as Bosk, but it has 1 more ambush. So it's able to hit some of these units that have a little bit more health that you're not able to hit before.
Yeah, it takes down like Sindari Peacekeepers, for example.
Yeah.
Where normally like Bosk wouldn't. Bosk does have the extra health. I mean, they swapped 1 attack for 1 health, and Bosk is also Bounty Hunter, but you're not really running, a Relentless Pursuit Bounty Hunter kind of thing.
Yeah.
It is kind of weird why they chose like triple Defender and single Phantom instead of like 2 and 2 if they're trying to go for it. I don't know. Those Phantoms are nice. They can mess some people up.
Yeah, I mean, just having them on that board. I mean, and if you're worried about if they have something that can kill it, you could waylay your own unit. I don't know. I agree with you. If you're doing kind of this offshoot deck, I would 100% put 2 of those in there, or just not included. I guess I don't know. I think I would just run 1 extra card, right, and run 2 of them.
Yeah. I mean, the other part of it too is like if you're if they're playing best out of 3, you get a good look at your opponent's list. If they're not very space heavy, then you can just simply just run 1 of them because your opponent's not going to have a way to really deal with the Phantom being there. So it's just a case by case basis. I mean, yeah, it is just 1 additional card there. But yeah, I agree. Like, no reason not to run both of them. If you're just adding as a sideboard, 51 cards is really not going to mess up your draw more than anything really.
Yeah. Or if you're worried about that, like the TIE Defender is also a 3 cost. Like you can swap that out. Like the Phantom does hit harder. It doesn't last as long. Well, sort of. Like it doesn't take damage, right? But like the shield is actually really huge on the Defender. But I don't know. I mean, I didn't win a 1K, so
that's very true. I think the other thing is I would almost put those Boba Fett armor in there if you're not going to include that, and I would get rid of I would put the Lurking TIE and the Relentless Pursuit in the sideboard. I think that Boba's armor, if as a 2 of, hits more. But I'll also be honest with you, that mercenary gunship, like if you don't get that in your opening first 2 hands, I don't care for it as much. Because once you get up there, it doesn't always do something, but it is nice to be there to protect your lurking tie. But if you don't have a lurking tie, do you need it? I don't know. Nice deck. It is definitely very Bobby centric in what it is.
There's a ton of control, like just a lot of hand destruction in that deck too, which is kind of pretty big, right? You got the Bodies to dump out any events and upgrades, and then you also have the Bazines to dump out any of their important cards. Cunning can also rip a card from hand. So you actually have you're able to control both their hand and the board pretty well with that.
Yeah. Yeah, you know what card's going to be really good in villain green? Palpatine's Return. Oh, you just got rid of my Snoke.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
Oh,
You
it's
just
so
got
good.
rid of my Maul. You got rid of my Vader. Mm-hmm. Don't worry, it's coming back. All right, let's move on to the runner-up for the Portland at 1K. Alex, Han Green, close and dear to your heart, or is it? I don't know. It's a little. I don't. Tell us what this deck is, because this is definitely an odd duck to me.
I've seen very similar decks, and I've also built something, different than this, but kind of close too. So this is a green yellow Han deck. It does not have ECL; it's just the standard 30 health base. It's got a triple Greedo, double Battlefield Marine, only one Leia, triple Spark of the Rebellion, double Spark of Hope, also only one Cloud Rider, double Surprise Strike, triple Echo Base Defender, triple Resupply, triple Falcon. Well, okay, the 3-cost Falcon, I guess I should specify. Double Sindari Peacekeeper, double Spare the Target, double DJ, double Tech. Probably for the aforementioned DJ. Double Bright Hope, double Kira, only one Marauder, double Rogue Squadron Skirmisher, triple Ewing Reinforcement, triple Han, triple Home One, double Reinforcement Walker, and to round it out, one Luke Skywalker.
Yep. And that Luke is obviously in there for that U-ring reinforcement, right? Like that's why you have the Luke in there. It's like kind of the Bobby Sapphire Casino 7 style.
A little bit. I mean, it's unlikely. If you pick them up, you can resource them, I guess. Eventually, you can probably get up to 9 pretty fast with this deck too, but you definitely want the U-wing reinforcement, and only having one in there makes it a lot easier for you to, more likely for you to hit it off U-wing reinforcement than you are drawing it.
Yep. The other thing that's nifty or different to me is we have only one Marauder. And I guess it's less effective in this deck because everything they have all these two ofs, so they can have variety. I don't like the variety. I'm just gonna be frank. This feels like a JJ deck. No offense, JJ. But this is
I was about to say the exact same thing. It feels like one of my decks.
Yep, this feels like somebody built a JJ deck and won with it, or almost won with it.
I don't mind it too much to have a lot of 2 ofs in this particular deck, like a Green Han deck like this, because it's more like you're building around what cards you have in your hand for your plays, using his ability, all that kind of stuff, more so than trying to get anything consistency. Because you have the 3 ofs, right? The U-wing, the Hans, the Home Ones, the Falcons, and the resupplies. Those are what you want to see the most of. And I guess Spark Rebellion, Echo Base Defender, those are good staple cards. It's just the one-offs. They're weird cards to me for one-offs. Sure, Luke, that's fine, whatever, I get that. But having one Marauder is so weird to me, because that is the easiest card to use the Marauder's ability off of. If you just have it in the discard pile, you don't need anything else. You're playing the Marauder; it will just resource itself.
Yeah, and, exactly.
Yeah.
And it kills, and it ambushes in, right? So it ambushes in and kills things, and so sometimes it kills itself, and I don't know, I just if it's already in if you've used it once, it's already been in there, and you get it again off your U-wing reinforcement. It's I don't know.
The really nice thing with Han is that you can, because you're dumping a resource, right, with his ability, so you can choose which resource you're dumping. I have almost every time, and it's like, oh, there's a Marauder. When a resource and dump it with Han's ability. Next time I play a Marauder, I have an instant ramp. That's what like is super super good about Han and the Marauder, just and the interaction of you can choose what's in your discard pile. You know what you have on your field, and then you can dump that card into the discard for when you get the Marauder.
Yeah.
And to me, I think Spark of Hope is a 3 of. Like I'm sorry, I like that. I do. I like that card. I think that card should be a 3 of. And I say in this deck, I guess it doesn't make very much sense. I don't know, because you don't have. I don't know. You do have a lot of units, and your units are dying. Like your units are not living. Like you have 3 Echo Base Defenders that are going to die. And like those things don't live anymore. They just don't, like, in this meta. I like, if I'm going to have to strip things down, I would have 3 of those and only 2 resupplies, I guess. Then
I totally agree with the double Spark of Hope, triple resupply play. The Spark of Hope is with this like Han deck, you want to play the higher units, right? Like that's the whole point, is that you're ramping up into better units that your opponent can't play. So you generally don't have the resources left over for Spark of Hope. You want to save that to like next turn for when your units actually do die. I like Spark of Hope for decks that can like kill its own units. Like, you know, like the younger Han Red with his ability, so you can get off the Spark of Hope easy. 3 is generally pretty excessive, honestly.
I don't know. I do like the Kira includes. I think the other thing I would change is I would have 3 of those stupid home ones, and maybe it's just because of the space, because people are now exploring space so much.
The Bright Hopes, you mean?
The Bright Hopes, yeah. What did I say?
Home ones, which they have 3 of.
Well, they already have 3 of those. Yeah, those are in this type of a deck. Those are like a must. You know what I like about this deck is I like to play Palpatine against this deck because you play a home one, I'm going to steal it. I will literally hold my Palpatine. I will hold my Palpatine unless I can win a turn until you play something big, and then I'm just going to take it every single time.
Well, hopefully, you know, in theory, this deck's...
What's that?
I said a Crate Dragon. Yeah.
I won't lie and tell you I've taken a Crate Dragon before. I won't lie and say I've taken a Ready Crate Dragon before, too. I have sacrificed a Vader. I have Palped a Vader, almost full health Vader, to put a damage on a Crate Dragon to claim to take it for the next turn.
No, that's the correct maneuver.
It's just like,
that's not weird.
That's like, I don't know. The opponent's like, you really just got rid of your Vader? I was like, yeah, I got your Crate Dragon.
I'll get rid of anything I want. Like, it doesn't matter. Like, that's the whole point.
You want to kill the Crate Dragon? Go ahead. It's got 10 health, or 9 health. Sorry, because technically I put 1 damage on it. But
yeah, go ahead and play another one. See what happens.
Yeah, play another one. I'll murder both of them. I don't know. I think this deck. I don't know. I do enjoy the fact that they aren't going all in on the DJ Tech combo. Like, I do like the DJ Tech combo. I think Tech is actually a very underrated card. I don't think people like it as much as I do. I think Tech is...
Do people realize that Tech doesn't say unit? You can just play any card, smuggle it in?
Yes. I know. I don't know if people know that or not, but yeah, I know that. So I enjoy... I will... You know who the other... If you play a Tech... So I should stop telling you about my Palp experiences, but I've Palped a Tech before, and then played an overwhelming barrage for my resource thing the next turn, and oh man, people get so pissed off at that. Then they kill your Tech, and it's like, oh okay, whatever. That was cool for 1 turn. It was a very expensive overwhelming barrage, but
it is also nice. You know, between Tech and DJ, right? And Han specifically, like if you steal a resource with DJ, you can play it out with your own Tech. If you steal a resource with DJ, you don't have a Tech, you can dump it with Han's ability. Like, it's pretty nice. And also, like DJ, at worst, he's a 3/5 for 3, which is actually like over the curve.
Yeah, and it's funny because I think we were kind of down on DJ when he first came out. We're like, what the hell do you do with this card? But like, it's good.
He's expensive to do what he can do. It only works in very specific archetypes like this kind of Han, or maybe like a really fast Lando, right? Where you can use Lando's ability to dump the DJ card. Maybe.
Yeah, fair enough. Anyway, I like this. I like this deck. It's it's different. I like the Kira ads. I do really like the Kira ads. That's she was one of the cards I picked as being one of the better ones for this set too. And I haven't built any hero.
You don't have to name a card in your opponent's hand, right? You just look at it and you can call whatever you want.
Yeah, you look at their hand and then tell them whatever one you want. Yes.
Right. So like you can like, playing against like your Palpatine deck, I look at your hand and just be like, oh, you don't have any Overwhelming Barrage? I'm still going to call it anyways.
Mm-hmm.
Now it's an 8 cost Overwhelming Barrage. Have fun.
Yep. Or Palpatine's Return. Ugh. All right, let's keep moving. Let's go on to the next one. The next one, speaking of Palp, the next 1K is Atlas Games in Iowa. This, I don't know. I'm going to go over this deck because like I said, I was talking with this guy a little bit. I might actually get him to come on and maybe we'll do a Palp Green deck tech. So I don't know. If you're interested, Alex, you better give me your availability for this week because I really want to do a green Palp deck tech because his is different than mine. I have settled on other things that he has not settled on.
His is pretty close to mine, but also different.
Yeah.
Obviously.
Yeah, his sideboard and my sideboard are completely different for other reasons. But essentially, he has the 30 health Navarro City. He's got 2 TIE LNs, 2 Salacious Scrums, 3 Admiral Piats, 3 Colonel Yularans, 2 of the Outlanders, 3 Scanning Officers, which is a must, by the way. By the way, that card is broken as shit in Palp. Especially if you get it off like turn 2 when they only have like 3 or 4 resources down. Like, oh, hey, Kira, did you resource a First Light? Oh, did you resource a tech? Oh, I'm sorry, Han, you don't have that anymore.
I have definitely gone first, played a Scanning Officer on first turn, and they had like a timely intervention or whatever, and they just couldn't play their first turn play because I dumped it and they only have 1 resource.
Well, they get their second resource back though. They
right,
put
but it's
one
exhausted, so like they only have
that's
one.
right. Yeah.
So they miss out on their like 2 coster because you don't expect to
So
not be able to
gross.
play your 2 coster.
Yeah, that is gross. I have not been that lucky yet, but anyway, then they have 3 of the Emperor's Royal Guard, 3 resupplies, 3 phase troopers, 3 super laser techs, 3 of the Black Sun little
Black Sun Enforcers.
Yeah, it's a Kirax. I'm sorry. I was searching for the Kirax word because I don't care about the Enforcer part. I care about Kirax. 3 commands, 2 lackeys, 3 overwhelming barrages, 2 traitoresses, 3 Vaders, 3 walkers, 2 ruthless, and 2 devastators.
Well, relentless. Now that ruthless is ruthless.
Did I say ruthless? Sorry.
Yeah,
relentless.
Double relentless.
Their sideboard was 2 of the Confiscates, 2 Surprise Strikes, 2 Fell the Dragons, which is spicy, 2 Emperor Palpatine's Retreat, or Emperor's Return, whatever, and 2 Mauls. I run Maul main, but I actually run a fatter deck with my Palp deck. I'm running 56 cards, but it's going to eventually go down to 53. But I run Maul main deck 100%. I run 2 Maul main deck. And I don't care what anyone says. It is amazing in this deck. It's just like, especially because this deck, the idea of this deck is to ramp and control you, but be able to ramp so hard it's not even funny. And you have those enterprising lackeys, right? I actually run 3 of them now. After talking with him, basically you play your enterprising lackey. I use timely intervention, so I can ambush it out, and
So
I will ambush that card out for it so that it kills something, immediately kills it, and then it goes, basically you put it in there, and then you could take a unit out of your discard pile and put it or out of your resource to put it in your discard pile.
You can't timely invention and smuggle out the lackeys, right?
I didn't say smuggle. That's not what I said. You play it out of hand. You play your timely intervention, and then you play your lackeys. I don't smuggle my lackeys ever. I always keep my lackeys actually because for 4 resources, they're a good 5/5, right? Even if I can't play timely intervention, they're like an amazing card just to have. And I think timely intervention is just like me being greedy and selfish. I think that's probably what that is. But I will for 6 costs. I could throw them out there. They ambush off. They kill off. They kill most of what's on that board, like one of the bigger units, and then I can turn around and I get to put them in my discard. And whatever I put in there, you know how many times I pulled a Devastator out, or a Maul, or something, or a Vader. Like I've just pull them out, throw them in my discard pile, and oh, guess what Vader's or Palp's return does. It now lets me play that stupid card, and I could play everything out of there except for the Devastator and the Relentless the next turn. Everything else could be played out of there if I have a Palp's return in hand. And my deck will suffer to pillage and some of these deck stripping ones, like, just so you know, like that's kind of the weakness this deck has. But like it is just so good because you can also pull like your super laser techs out of your resource, and then you can, if you really want to ramp harder, you 100% can play a Palpatine's Return to pull a super laser tech out. I don't do it, but you can do that. Like if you have nothing of any value in there,
cost resupply.
It is. It's what it is. But whatever. I mean, you get a card out of it too, Alex, because you get to ping it and get a card after you do that.
All right, 7 costs now because I have to use Palpatine's ability to kill the super laser tech. You're right.
Unless I flip and I have Palpatine active, but I'm not telling you that's a good play. But this deck is just super, super awesome. Like the Salacious Crumb is one of the bigger additions. I don't like Admiral Piat personally as much. I understand why he's in there. I get it. It's just not my play style, I guess.
Neither do I, actually. I don't have Piat in there.
I used to run Piat. Back in set 1, I would run Piat. Now I don't need to a scanning officer.
Yeah, I didn't run Piat. I just generally, like, that's what the timely interventions are for, right? Like, I don't need Piat.
Yes.
When I have those. I also have escort skips in my deck, though, which is actually really nice, just to be able to drop and ambush something for 4 damage with a Palp. It works out pretty well, actually.
Yeah, that's a good addition. I don't have those in mine, but I would consider putting them in there for the pure fact of like what you said. Like it's just such a good it's a free ambush that you get that other people are not getting. I also only run 2 Traitoresses, but I'll tell you what, I'll resource a Traitoress, and then I have that stupid lackeys if I need to get it back. So, like, if I'm playing against Han, usually I don't need the Traitoresses as much because they're all running those higher end units I can't steal. But man, you want to run Rey? You want to run Moff Gideon? Go ahead, baby. Go. You do that. Let me have that Lurking Tie. Let me have whatever you buff up. I don't care. Let me have a 5/5 Incinerator Trooper. Thank you.
I actually have Traitoresses in my side. Just my local meta right now is not really conducive to having Traitoress in main deck, but you know, that's my local meta. Yeah.
And I might, again, like I'm running 56 cards. If I have, instead of cutting down, maybe I move those to the sideboard instead. I don't know. I'm excited for this deck. I've been actually playing Green Palp for about 3 months. Like I was playing Green Palp in set 1. When I got bored of playing Red Palp because that's all I played for
bored
forever.
Of winning too much. Got to go to a worse deck. I get it.
He needs a challenge. Jeez.
Well, I mean, if you're saying this, let's do a deck tech on Red Palp. We got to do some new Red Palp deck. I haven't even played Red Palp. To be perfectly honest with you, I've only been playing Green Palp this set.
I have not built a Red Palp deck yet because I don't have a good grasp on exactly what I want it to do and also what like general meta is like. So I just went to green because that was easy to deck build around.
Yep. I don't know. I love this deck. I will say the Fel's Dragon is spicy as hell though. Like that's hilarious. I know what that's in there for. And at 6 cost, this deck doesn't care about it being at 6 cost. It doesn't. Right. So at this point,
Dragon, what's the Fel the Dragon for? Just like
it's for
crate dragons.
Well, it's for crate. Yeah, it's for crate. It's for crate dragons. That's the big thing. The other thing that it's there for is like if you have like a big leader that can't be taken down, like it's not Chirrut, now it's Rey, right? But it could be a Chirrut or a Rey or whatever. You can start taking it down. Chirrut obviously doesn't just like
you can't Fel the Dragon leaders.
Oh, well then I don't know what he has. Then it's for crate dragons. It's for crate dragons, pose and wreckers.
Yeah, I got
pose and wreckers. That's it.
Pose,
that's
wreckers,
what it's
crate dragons. Like that's what I can think of. Although generally, I mean, Vader should be able to take enough of it out between Vaders and overwhelming barrages. But sure, I get it.
Yeah, I don't know. It's like I said, that's a spicy card. I'm guessing it's based on his meta. That's why he has that in there. So,
Yeah.
All right, so let's move on to second place. JJ, do you want the other Boba Yellow, or do you want to take a different one?
I'll do this one still. That's fine. So we got another appearance here, Boba Yellow here, coming in with 2 copies of Shoot First, Cartel Spacers. Got 3 copies of Dr. Evazan. That's a spicy take. I like that inclusion in there. We got 3 new adventures. We got 3 fugitive Wookiees, 2 Boba Fett armors included in this one here, 3 surprise strikes, 3 Boba Fett ground units, 3 TIE defenders, 3 Bodhi Rooks, 2 waylays, 3 phantoms, 3 Toro Calican, 3 Kundings, 3 Forloms, 3 Cantina Bouncers, 2 Zuckuses, 3 Fett Fire Sprays, and 1 final showdown. And then for the sideboard here, we got 3 confiscates, 2 frozen encumber knights, 3 syndicate lackeys, and the last one here is 2 change of hearts there for it. And that's actually a really excellent sideboard. I actually find myself having confiscate a lot more often now, especially when it comes to playing some of these raid decks or Tarkin decks and stuff. Just being able to take out experience points off of people is really, really handy. And Frozen and Carbonite is always really good, especially when you time it just right. Like when you have an opponent like build up a unit really, really big, and then you just slap a Frozen and Carbonite on them, and then now they've just wasted all that time building up that unit. It is so handy to have on there for the list on there. But definitely like it a lot. The inclusion there of Forlom and Zuckuss and Boba decks has been really, really strong overall. And yeah, you definitely included that Boba Fett armor in there. It's a must-have in Boba decks, I think.
I want to know why we only have 2 Zuckusses. Like, Zuckuss is better than Forlom.
I think it's just the curve of the
The
deck.
cost.
Yeah.
I guess. I will say that Dr. Evison, I don't know. That's a card. I don't understand that card. So I don't understand. I mean, it's okay, but
I mean, it's a 3 damage 2 drop, which is enough to like kill some important units.
Mhm.
And like, if they take initiative, you can just kill them off. Or if like they have full resources, you can just kill them off like for very little. You know, there's no benefit for that. And I guess you have a new adventure.
you do. That's
If you
true.
really, really need to play them again. The fugitive Wookiees are also interesting to me. Like, you know, it's not a huge negative on the bounty of, you know, just exhaust a guy. And it is another 3/3. I just feel like there's probably something else you can put in there.
Yeah. Especially like I tend to not like running cards that give a benefit to my opponent if they
Yes, you
already.
You do all the time. I don't want to hear it.
Lack of Bazines is actually alarming to me too.
Yeah, to me, the Wookiees would be Bazines. That's what I would run.
Like, can you imagine going up against the first place and the guy's just, you know, holding on to a Devastator and you just Bazine it, and now it's gone.
Yeah, or Greedos. Yeah, Greedos is a better turn 1 play, cheaper. I don't know, like even that Space Cartel or Cartel Spacer or whatever the Seek
Interceptors.
Yeah, I don't know. Like, I'm not gonna say this is a bad deck because this is the bounty hunter version of the Boba Yellow we're seeing, right? Like, so this is focusing on bounty hunter mechanics, but yet we don't have any of the relentless pursuit, which would work very, very well in this deck, like really well. Like, oh, I'm gonna give this to a Boba, and oh, Boba gets a shield, and then I'm gonna give him Boba's armor. I don't know, like that seems really good to me. I'm personally, I'm not a fan of the bounty hunter Boba Yellow builds. That's just me though. Personally, like I prefer the more traditional style Boba Yellow build. Though I stopped playing it. I played it and I won, and then I just decided I don't like. It's a great deck and it's fun. And I guess if I have to go to planetary qualifiers and I have to be serious about what I'm playing, maybe I'll bring it back again. But I don't know. I don't like the Fugitive Wookiees personally, just for the pure fact that it is only 3 health. Like if it was a 3/4 for 2, I would play it even with a bounty because it's a lot harder to kill. But you could kill things turn 2 that have 3 health on them traditionally, and like maybe this deck is not designed to be an aggro-ish deck. Maybe it's more designed to fit that controls the side. I don't know. Like traditionally, Boba Yellow is not like that much of a control
I
deck.
think this is more just straight aggro because you're just like exhausting your opponent.
Yeah.
Not that you have no good to me dead in the deck, but like you're just doing other things. You're just you're just hitting really, really hard the whole time. With all your threes that are sticky, like you mentioned earlier with Cat Bane being able to ping a damage off Greedo to kill. You can't do that with the Wookiee, the Dr. Avacyn. So
yeah, I will say Final Showdown is hilarious and amazing. I absolutely love that as a one of in there. Like I think that's great. Just because it's like especially now.
definitely for the memes.
Yeah, but the best part about it is like because you don't have open decks now, so nobody knows that that's in there. So you could actually just have this card, and then all of a sudden, like if it's a win condition for you, this came up in one of our my nephew. It was hilarious. When we were playing pre-release, some guy pulled one of those, and my nephew was like so confident he was going to win. And he claimed with one ready unit and like figured he's got 2 other units plus that one, he's going to win next turn. And the guy played one of those damn things and won. And he was so pissed. And he was so pissed off about it. And I was like, it's a good card for when nobody knows about it, So I don't know. Whatever. It's cool. I like this deck. It is definitely different. If you want to play more of a bounty hunter centric deck, that's what this is. So
yeah, for sure.
All right. Alex, you want the Tarkin Yellow deck?
Yeah, why not? So, Tarkin Yellow deck, it's been going around. This is very close, if not exactly the same. I don't think it's exactly
not like
the same.
our deck tech one.
Well, it's not like ours, but there's other ones that have been floating around. It's pretty close. It's not exactly the same. So you got triple ISB agent, triple basic TIE fighter, only double swoop down, triple Piet, triple no good to me dead, triple Lintai, triple surprise strike, triple the Inferno Trooper, Incinerator Troopers. That's what they're called. Sorry, troopers. Yeah, it's the wrong IN flame word. Triple Snow Trooper Lieutenant, triple TIE Defender, 1 Waylay, triple TIE Phantom, triple Dark Raid, triple TIE Advance, triple Overwhelming Barrage, double AT-AT or ATST, sorry, double the Pirate Battle Tank, triple Reinforcement Walker, and 1 Arquintus Assault Cruiser. In the side, you got double Scanning Officer, 2 more Waylays, triple Change of Heart, double Relentless, and a Devastator. So, there's a lot of Imperial triple Dark Raid shenanigans, trying to get that TIE Advanced triple Dark Raid play onto your Phantom, give it 2 experience, bounce it back in your hand, play it next turn. Oh, by the way, the ATST and the Pirate Battle Tanks and Reinforcement Walkers are also all vehicles. So this is a very aggressive version of it, too, with the triple Snowtrooper Lieutenant.
Yeah, if you go watch our deck tech, this is similar to the deck tech we did. Which, by the way, I didn't make I tweaked it, but like I took whatever the popular one was and I tweaked to how I was playing it. And then, like, I don't know. This is similar-ish to that one. I don't have the Waylay in mine. I have my Waylay sideboarded. But
he's got 1, which is kind of weird to me. I figure there's like run 2 or don't or side it.
Yeah, and that's what I do. I side the Waylays because they're not useful except for in mirrors. Or if you're going against another like very aggro-ish deck, like most of the time for 3 resources, you want to play it. You want to play a unit. You don't want to play another thing. I don't know. This is the scary. This is kind of like the new thing that people are playing. It does make you question and say, hey, what are you going to do about like space race, right? Like it is a discussion point that TIE LN isn't that big of a deal, right? Being a 3/2 on turn 1, but still like being in space is like a bigger thing now. And I think we need to actually pay attention to some of that. So
It's fine. Blue is like 3 space sentinels.
yes, very true.
What was I gonna say? Yeah, so the nice thing about this is actually kind of a budget deck because there's no legendaries, right? Which is why I think it's becoming a lot more popular because it's like, cool, you only require like a handful of rares from this set, the triple dark raid being the most important, but like, swoop down, triple dark raid, and the assault cruiser are the only rares. So
Yep. And I think
very easy to build.
triple dark raid is the most expensive card in that
Yeah.
deck, other than the sideboard. The sideboard has a devastator.
And change of hearts.
Yeah. So yeah, because the one I did was like $40 or something like that. So check out, if you haven't, check out our deck tech. I did a deck tech on this. This is a deck. Again, I don't always want to do deck techs on things I like. I want to do deck techs on things that I think other people will like. And we want to do our podcast 100% likes to talk about budget type stuff, right? Because we live in a reality that not everybody can afford or even find a case of product. So JJ, for example, JJ had a very hard time getting product compared to some of us. So like, I think that's the big thing is these decks are essential to the game. I don't care what anyone says. If budget decks cannot be pretty competitive or decently competitive, you're going to kill the game. Nobody wants to play $500 decks. And like, I was talking with a gentleman that I played Destiny with back in the day, and now he plays SWU, and he also plays Flesh and Blood. And we talked about like the most expensive, like the way Flesh and Blood does their things and stuff like that. And like they deal with things in the same manner that we're kind of seeing FFG gravitate towards, where decks do not have to be like $200-$300 decks to actually be able to play. And I think once we get the product shortage figured out, everything will come down in price anyway. So rip to anybody that's holding on to Pose because they're the new, Luke somehow. They're worth double what Luke is worth now. I don't know why.
But Pose are disgusting. They're so good.
You think they're better than Luke's?
No, but man, they go in a lot more decks.
They do.
Yeah, they do.
But they're not better than Luke, so
I've definitely encountered a lot more Pose in the wild right now than Luke's. Like,
yeah, but like you can win a game with Pose before Luke even comes out.
Yep.
Yes. All right, let's move on to fourth place. This one is a Sabine Green upgrade. Definitely different. We'll go through the sideboard first. They have the Disabling Fang Fighter. They have Bright Hopes. I said that right? Yep. And 2 U-Wings and 3 of the Ketsus. I like Ketsu main board, but I understand why they probably put it in here. It's a sideboard piece. And then we have 2 Metal Ceremonies, 3 Rebel Assaults, 2 of the Spec Forces, 1 Heroic Sacrifice, and only 1 R2-D2. I don't agree with the 1 R2-D2, but they've only got 1 in there. They've got 2 Timely Interventions, 1 Heroic Resolve, 3 of the Battlefield Marines, 3 of the A-Wings, 3 Sabines, 3 X-Wings, 3 Fighters for Freedom, 3 Red 3s, 3 For a Causes, 3 Fleet Lieutenants, 3 Wing Leaders, 3 Cassians, which chef's kiss. Love Cassians so much. So 3 K2SOs, 2 Pose, and 3 Wreckers. Because if you need to get to Wrecker at that point, you better win the game after that one. So, very typical. I will say these one-offs drive me. I don't understand the 1 R2-D2s. I guess I like R2-D2 a lot with Sabine, and this one doesn't have Darksaber. Like, not even in the sideboard. There's no Darksaber sideboard for this, so that's also very different.
Well, this is like a Rebel deck, right? Like, it's not Mandalorian focused.
True.
This is a very old school Rebel, straight Rebel. Like, that's why the Rebel Assault's in there. That's why your Ketsu's in the sideboard, because she doesn't really like fit too well with it. And
why not run Leia then? I guess Sabine's extra faster.
Yeah, like Sabine just comes out earlier, and she doesn't really have to depend too much on her board like Leia does.
That's true. I suppose that's true. I don't know. I do not personally like wing leaders. Just as a personal, I don't know. And again, I'm a control player, so that's partly Tanner's fault for not liking them. But
And do you know how annoying it is to like wing leader Sabine leader, and then like give her heroic resolve, and you're just like, cool, eat everything right now.
Yep. So I like it. I think this is the one of the versions that we'll see coming up here in the very near future. So the next one is another yellow boba. It looks the same. It has two waylays in it. No, I think it's the same.
It is the same, but it has like,
No, this is exact the same, isn't it?
Yes, it is exactly the same as the one that came in second place.
Yeah.
Congratulations. We're gonna move on from that one. I don't need to repeat that one. Is this the same Han deck? No, this is different.
It's not. No, there's actually good cards. We're good.
Here's the new Han deck. Here, this one's more of my. This is up my alley a lot more.
Yeah, this is a lot more my speed. So, it's another green yellow Han. You have triple Greedo. It's still the only one Leia, which hurts me so much. Triple Spark of the Rebellion, triple Cloud Rider, triple Echo Base Defender, triple Resupply, triple 3-costing Falcon, triple Waylay, triple DJ, triple Tech, triple Bright Hope, double Kira, double Syndicate Lackeys, triple Marauder, the one Luke again, triple U-Wing, triple Han Solo, triple Home One, and double Reinforcement Walker. In the side, you got one Bodhi. Triple Sindari Peacekeeper, which sucks that it's not in the main deck because that thing's so good. Why is that even a card? One Azatuk, one Kira, double Traitorous, and double Change of Heart. It's a pretty actually solid sideboard there. Yeah, this is basically like the deck that we were talking about earlier, except for you got a lot more consistency, but a lot less ways to like toolbox your way out of situations.
Yeah. I like this a lot. They have the correct amount of Marauders in this deck they got. That Luke being that one up, man. Luke is a one of. That's all right. I see your point with the with it just being able to be pulled from reinforcement. What do you do if you pull it in your opening hand? Do you just resource it?
Yeah, well.
Okay.
Just resource it. I mean, it is what it is. So you got the 1 in, or I guess like the 6 in 50 chance of hitting it.
Yeah. I have another question. Like, is there a replacement for this Echo Base Defender? I just don't like that card anymore.
Why?
I don't know.
It's a Sentinel. Like, you need some sort of ground Sentinel. You're not going to run like the Gamorrean Guards, are a little bit too expensive and too iffy for this kind of deck. The Echo Base Defenders are fine. I mean,
there's just no other Sentinels.
No, I mean, you got the other Gamorreans that require a green.
You don't want those, yeah.
Right. And then you got the yellow Gamorreans. I mean, you got Chewbacca, but like he comes out way too late. So,
all right. Yeah.
And the Echo Base Defenders are just a free pull off of Home One, and I've done that so many times that block incoming attacks.
Yeah, that's true. I suppose. I don't know. I just don't like them in this meta as much. But
well, why? What do you not? Just because they have 3 health?
Yeah, I just don't like they're just like, it's whatever. It's like if they were a 4/4, I would be fine with it. But a 3/3, it's just whatever. I don't know.
Well, that's why you should put in some more wing leaders.
They are rebel. You can do it.
Food squad, AJ. Food squad. No way. All right. I like this. I like the Traitorous in the sideboard. That's hilarious.
I ran Traitorous in my sideboard and Change of Heart in my sideboard when I was running Green Han. It's so rough. I understand why they don't have the Sindari Peacekeepers in there, because that's like half your deck would be like a 3-drop at that point. Mm-hmm. But man, just they're
so
raid
good.
2, the restore 2.
Yep.
They
got 5 health, for Christ's sake.
Yeah, they just trade super well.
You know what we need to do? We need to do a Chewy deck tech. That's what we need to do. I really miss me some Wookiees. I gotta build my Wookiee deck. That's what I need to do. I have one built that I don't think is very good, but all right. JJ, We have a Boba Blue. It's a little bit different, right? Well, tell us about this Boba Blue deck.
Yeah, all Boba all the time, man. So we got Boba Blue here. He's got 3 copies of Greedo, 1 copy of Restock, 1 4-target bounty, 3 enticing rewards, which we'll get back to that one in a minute. 1 copy of McClunky, which is actually one of my favorite trick cards right now in the game. 3 copies of Inferno 4. We got 2 Spark of the Rebellions, 2 Dr. Pershings, 3 Bazines, 3 Power of the Dark Sides, 2
Make an opening.
Yeah, there you go. 3 Waylays, 2 I Am Your Fathers, 1 Client, 1 Search Your Feelings, 3 Vigilances, 3 Takedowns, 2 Fell the Dragons, 3 Bounty Hunters, 2 Rival Falls, 2 Super Laser Blasts, 1 Supreme Leader Snoke, which is so good. I like that a lot. And then to finally round off the list, 3 Avengers here. So this is really, really interesting. You're essentially constantly wiping out the board on your opponent's side, just deleting anything that comes out there. You're sacrificing putting any of your own units, but you're also taking advantage of putting on bounties on the cards that are on the opponent's units that you're looking to take out to generate the effects. There's actually quite a bit of mill
It's your alternate win
cards
con.
that you can use. Yeah, exactly. So that way you can draw the cards that you need, and you're essentially just building up until you eventually get to your Avengers, and then from there, once you get there, you just hang on until you can finally take out and wipe out the remaining units and win the game. So definitely really good to see on a Boba deck. It's really interesting because this actually probably leans a little bit more into Boba's ability to constantly re-up your resources after you defeat an enemy, to allow you playing more cards, and then just go from there. So I like the deck a lot. It's good.
Do you know how scary Enticing Reward is in this deck? You search
Oh,
the
yeah.
top 2 and choose 2 non-units. You can just choose whatever you want. It's scary.
Yeah, and that's why I wanted to go back to just that Enticing Reward. Man, that is a bounty that any one of my bounty decks it's like an auto include because it is just really, really good. It does depend a lot on the composition in your deck, but man, it is a really strong bounty, I think, especially if you're looking to like mill through your deck.
Yeah, I question the only 2 making openings, though, personally.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, you probably would have sideboarded at least 1, right? Just in case.
They did. Oh no, they didn't. Yeah, they did.
Yeah, they did.
Yeah. Oh yeah, you're right. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I also think the Spark of Hopes are a little like, hey, I want to be Iden, but I'm not Iden. I'm not sold on. As much as I talked up Spark of Hope in the last set, I don't know how much I like it in this.
Spark Rebellion.
Deck. Yes, sorry. What did I say? Spark of Hope? Yeah, Spark of Rebellion.
Spark of Hope.
Whatever. Whatever. Futois. I don't understand the one-off McClunky. Is that just so in case you put a Bazine down, you can pick her back up to strip their hand again? Like, I like it. I like it, but we only got 1 of them. So just...
I mean, like the Greedos, you can do it with 2, and the Bounty Hunter crew. They're underworld, so you can McClunky them back up and then just get another... I mean, I guess the McClunky too, if you wanted to. Just grab it again, which is nice. One Snoke hurts me, though, man. Snoke is so disgustingly good.
Especially because, obviously, this deck's main win condition is Avenger, right? Like,
right.
That's what there's no... Where's my Fet's Fire Sprays in this? Like, it's like, oh, we're going to work towards Avenger, which is fine, I guess. I don't know. I'm not
a huge Avenger is my only endgame thing. I mean, you have a secondary win con with Vigilance, sure, but that costs you 6 every time you play it.
Yeah, and you don't have the restock the same way. You don't have... I mean, I guess you have a second in your sideboard. Your Search Your Feelings. I don't know. You have 1 Search Your Feelings. I don't agree with if we either go all in on the client or don't. That's my theory. Like, either do it or don't do it. And I would 100% put more Snoke in this deck.
Yeah, that one off top target's kind of weird too.
Yeah.
But man, Snoke just turns games around when you play it. It's so disgusting. You're just
Yeah.
like, you can't do anything. Like, you can't play any 2 health or less units at all because they just immediately die. And like any attack you're going in, I've had reinforcement walkers come in and I'm just like, cool, that's 4 damage. I'm not the super most threatened by it. Although I did have a nasty combo of having Snoke on the board and then throwing down a Great Dragon and telling my opponent, good luck. Do whatever you good luck doing anything. Anything you play has to have like 3 more health than it does cost, or else it just dies immediately to Great Dragon. It was so disgusting. I mean, obviously you're not doing in this, but
what deck are you playing that has that?
Blue Vader.
Okay, makes sense.
Yep. But I love me some Snoke. I mean, I can see why this deck did really well. I mean, you got a lot of, you got a lot of destruction. Boba, readies resources, so when you ever kill anything, you can still put more stuff, which is why I'm assuming they have like top target. They have a bunch of one costing cards because of killing something with like a Power of the Dark Side, getting 1 resource and playing like an enticing reward or something. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know either. I actually think Blue Boba is very good. Personally, I think Blue Boba is going to be up there. But yeah, I would run 2 Snokes. That's just me.
I like Blue Boba. I'm not sure if it leans really well into the hard control like this. I still like if you're doing that. Maybe
it's usually
someone else is better.
Yeah. Well, you just do Iden, and I don't know. All right, let's move on to the last one. The last one we have is a Rey red deck. Love me some Rey. We've got 3 4th throw, 3 R2D2, the right amount. 3 Darien Raids, 3 A-Wings, 3 Sabines, 3 MiGs. They got MiGs in here, baby. Because this is the I'm going to make you discard cards, supposedly.
It's a discard Rey deck.
Yeah. Then we got 3 Yodas, 3 red 3s, 1 open fire, which I don't know why you had that in there, but okay, you can just have another K2SO. Anyway, whatever. 3 Concord Dawns, which are amazing. 3 mainline Fang Fighters, baby. Love to see that. That is definitely a good call for this one. 2 Kanans, 2 takedowns, 2 K2SOs, 3 pillage, 2 Poes, 3 Obies, 2 Rivals Fall, 1 Kylo, 1 Redemption, and 1 Crate Dragon. I don't know why the Crate Dragon's in there. I guess if you get to that point, cool. I
mean, it's tough to get around if you have no cards in hand and they drop a Crate Dragon on you.
True. Sideboard, they got 2 Jedi lightsabers, another open fire, 2 techs, 3 Fell the Dragons, and 2 Force Surrenders, which I actually believe those 4. I would be putting at least one of those Force Surrenders in over the open fire, if not both of them. I don't know. I like Force Surrender a lot. It's also funny because they have Force Throw in there, but like they don't have any Force units. And so they got Yoda. I guess they got Yoda and Kanan. So I guess that makes sense.
Kanan and Obi and Kylo and Rey herself.
Yeah. It is funny to only see 1 Kylo in there as well, and only 1 Redemption. I don't think I would put the Crate Dragon in there. I think I would put a second Redemption, personally.
Yeah. I like double Redemption. Kylo, there's a good chance that they only have 1 Kylo, which is fair. Maybe 2 is fine. Like, he's okay.
Yeah.
Like, it's nice for just swinging in for 8 with Kylo, so he's kind of a hammer.
Yeah, he's real good for 6 resources. But I don't know. I think I like this deck. I think this is the more of the hand destruction, though I will say, like, there's more hand destruction you can do than just these cards. I mean, the Force Surrenders, for example, would be really good in there. But I'm assuming they're only destroying your hand so that they can build a board state, and then they're kind of swinging in and saying, what are you going to do about it? They are definitely not utilizing a lot of the Rey ability. You have some of your lower end units like R2D2, which is really good, and that's why I think R2D2 is just amazing in this deck, because it's a 2/5. Like,
yep,
turn
2/5. I mean, they got R2, they got the A-Wing, which is super, super nice. Migs, Sabine, Yoda, Red 3, even the Concord Dawns. Like at that point, like you don't want to run the whole just bunch of weenies in your raid deck. Like you have to have some sort of mid to late game plan. So it just sucks that I'm like, man, only 2 Kanan and only 2 K2SO. Like both of them also discard your card in addition to being like incredible 4-drops.
Yeah, like the Migs Kanan combo, you get to heal and then like do 2 damage to something. Okay, like that seems really good to me. I don't know. I don't know. Again, I would dump a Crate Dragon and put a second Redemption in there immediately. Like I would just do that. I think the Kylo is fine, right? Like I think the Kylo is okay. It's not my favorite thing. I would dump that Open Fire though, and I would go for a second Kanan or a third Kanan or a third K2SO. Like that's what I would do.
I'd probably dump 1 Migs, turn it into a Kanan, dump an Open Fire, turn it into K2. Take the Great Dragon, put it into a Redemption. And then take Kylo and turn him into Poe. There you go. Easy.
Yeah, you can do that too. Especially because it's 1 resource cheaper, right?
Yep.
And Poe does it's the same thing. Poe does 8 damage too, right? Like if you discard a card. Like, and at this point, you're not playing. Like by the time
Poe also discards your opponent's cards too, which is even funnier.
Yeah, but I don't know. Like it's whatever. I like this. I don't know if I agree with you on the 3 going down from 3 from Migs, but you're right. It's I don't know. Migs to me is a very big trigger, but yes, I would 100% have at least 3 Kanans. Like I don't know. To me,
I'd probably do 3 K2SOs over 3 Kanans.
Yeah, just because you like.
Man, I love Kanans. I mean, you have enough restore, and your only other target for Kanan is Sabine, which is fine.
Yeah.
Although you do have Force Throw, so maybe you want to do triple Kanan over double K2SO. But that's how you build. That's how you play. Yeah.
I like that's why I like the Kanans, because the 3 Kanans over that. But that's just me. So Yoda is also really good because you can buff Yoda up too. So I don't know. I like it. It's a good deck. I think it's fun. So we're not going to spend a lot of time. We have 5 minutes, and then we're going to go over JJ's decks, and we're going to critique JJ. But we have 5 minutes, and what I wanted to do for 5 minutes is we have 2 big tournaments coming up each weekend. So next weekend is the Baltimore SSG. I don't know if JJ is going to that, but he should be going to it because he lives on the East Coast. You should go represent Planning Face. I'll send you a deck. I'll send you my Green Palp deck. And then the second event that's coming up is Gen Con. So the reason our old podcast that we did, X-Wing, we did a lot with like meta-analysis and discussions. We don't have a good meta-analysis tool in SWU yet, but I think this is giving you some early indicators, right? Like Ray is good with being able to buff resources in red or using discard, right? It's good counters to a lot of things. We're seeing yellow Boba still be a thing. Thanks, Bobby Sapphire, for making all of our lives hell. Han's making a reoccurrence, right? We're seeing Sabine still. We have the new Tarkin that's kind of coming out saying, hey, I want to play. And then Palp. I don't know. People might play this Palp, but to me, that's not as much of a meta thing. Like, I don't know if you go to a big tournament and take Palp unless you're Alex or Chris, right? So Alex and Chris are taking Palp just because that's what we play all the time. But
I don't think my locals. We almost had one tournament where everyone ran one color of Palp. 4 different people, different color Palps.
Well, where was my invite? You should have told me that was going to happen. I would have come, and it would have been like all of them. I would have ran whatever one was not popular. You'd been like, oh, there's no yellow Palp. You got to run that, Chris.
We're conspiring. No, someone actually ran the yellow Palp. The one person just dropped out of the blue Palp, but it was a little conspiracy because we have a lot of Palpatine players. Because of me, I'm going to take credit for that. So we have a lot of like hard control in my meta, or I wouldn't say hard control, but like late game control. We got Palpatines, we have a couple Sabine players, and a little bit of Boba, but it's mostly like the triple dark raid decks now. There's guys playing Lukes, and those are fun. There's a lot of experimentation around here.
So what I'm going to ask each of you is, like, do you have predictions, or do you have things that you think are going to be top meta for the next, let's just say next 2 weeks, right? Whatever. Like, what do you think will win Gen Con? Or what do you think is going to win this large SSG Baltimore, I don't know if I think it's 2K. I don't remember. I'd have to look it up. But like Alex, what do you think is going to be in the top 8 cut, and what do you think is going to win?
I mean, like the safe bet would be like green Sabine, right? Or like green or yellow Boba, because people have the most experience with that. They've got better decks now. I think both Hans are pretty solid. It's kind of weird if like a mid-range deck would win, but I don't know. It's hard to say.
All right. Well,
I'm not exactly sure.
You're gonna give me a prediction. What's gonna win? Give me a winner, because like maybe we should. Well, maybe we should put a card on this. I don't know. Do we have a card? I have a judge's card. Do you have all the judge's cards, Alex?
I do. Yes.
Okay. Well, I don't know.
We'll find things.
we'll find something. We're gonna put a card on this. We did this before. You got to pick a winner. Pick a winner for each event.
Jesus. Let's go with...
Start with Gen Con first.
Is that the larger tournament? Yeah?
Yeah.
Control's probably going to win that one. So I'm going to go with... Christ, I don't know.
Come on, we did this.
Control.
You can do this. No.
Yeah, in X-Wing, at least there was...
Nope, I gotta have a specific... We got lists.
Smaller tournament, green Sabine. Larger tournament, let's do yellow Boba. Happy?
Thank you. Yes, I am. Yellow. I'm typing this to you so you have it in our text chat.
Yeah, I see.
All right. JJ, what is your predictions?
I'm actually gonna go with a Han blue deck. I think has a lot of tools. The Wookiees are very, very strong. They can handle a lot of what Sabine can throw out. They can match up to Palp. They can definitely build up to have a lot of offense early on, with Han being able to bring them out really early with his ability. And I think that with the right toolbox, with different cards and upgrades, you can do a lot of work with Han.
Which one? Which tournament, baby?
Gen Con. Yeah.
Thank you. So blue baby Han.
Yeah.
All right. Who's winning Baltimore?
Baltimore. I'm gonna take a complete stab in the dark for this one, but I'm going to say that Tarkin Yellow wins Baltimore.
All right. So for me, you're killing me with these. I don't want to give you these either. I'm not the one that did it. I think Gen Con. I don't know. Am I allowed to copy you? Because like, I think I genuinely think Gen Con is going to be yellow Boba. I think that's what it is. And I bet I'm going to wager Baltimore is going to be Vader green. There you go. So those are our hot and heavy predictions that Alex hates when I make him do. So
if it was a little bit later in the season,
sure. But it's fun. It's more fun now. At this point, it's more fun to make the predictions than it was before. All right. So what we're going to do next is we have our For a Cause, I Believe in segment where we talk about for fun things, like things that are fun. So JJ decided to be the guinea pig and said, hey, Tanner, I've got this Gar red deck. I don't know what to do with it. I built a deck with a lot of 2-ofs because that's my favorite thing to do. You only have one. You have 4. You have 4 1-ofs in your deck as well. I don't even know how many cards are in here. So
It's 50 with 10 sideboard cards, but yeah,
okay.
Yeah, definitely.
It's actually 5 1-offs too, which is even worse.
All right, 5 1-offs because JJ loves his 1-offs. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna do our For a Cause segment where we talk a little bit about how much fun it would be to give JJ a little bit better of a deck than what he's currently running.
Yeah. So. All right. So To start off here, we got Gar Saxon deck here, and I paired them with the red here, mainly because I wanted to take advantage of some of the cards that come on the red side there. So, the philosophy for this one is to go very heavy with Mandalorians, and along with Mandalorians, because Gar Saxon buffs all friendly units that are upgraded, I ended up including a lot of different ways to upgrade them, either between shields, between different equipment and such. That's kind of like what I worked on doing this here. So I'll just 3 copies of Follow the Way, 3 copies of House Cast Soldiers, 2 copies of Death Watch Loyalist, 3 copies of Mandalorian Warrior, 2 Jango Fett's, 2 Clan Challengers, 2 Gideon Hats of Ruthless Loyalist, 2 Super Commando Squads, 2 Fen Rao Protector of Concord Dons, and 1 Pre Vizsla. And then I have 2 copies of Distant Patrollers, 3 Disabling Fang Fighters, 2 Survivors Gauntlets, and 3 Clan Saxon Gauntlets, and then 2 copies of Covert Strength, 2 copies of Moments of Peace, and 2 Calculated Lethalities. And then to round off the list for the upgrades, I got 1 copy each of Resilient, Ruthlessness, Armed to the Teeth, Brutal Traditions, 2 copies each of Electro Staff, Mandalorian Armor, Van Brace Grapple Shot, and Van Brace Flamethrower. And then as my sideboard, I added 2 Confiscates, 2 Devotions, and 2 Pilot Failures, Evidence of the Crime, and 2 Fallen Lightsabers to round off the list there. Definitely a lot more upgrade heavy on this, mainly because the Mandalorians do want to have those upgrades on there. But that's why I've added to them. I did wanted to. I kind of have a hard rule for myself that I'll never include more than 2 copies of a unique card, either be an upgrade or a named like a person for like ground units or space units, because I tend to end up like resourcing one, and I'd rather have a generic that I can play multiple copies of that I know that I can actually use. So hence why I tend to just stick with 2 or less for those unique ones. But Alex, what are your thoughts on it?
Well, I mean, I changed a little bit of it. I tried to like keep in mind of not having, a lot of legendaries and stuff like that. I mean, I think it's a solid place to start. There's obviously some things that I would remove, probably like the calculated lethalities. Just a couple things here and there. I dig the Mandalorian theme. I'm assuming you don't have any dark sabers, or else they'd be in there, right?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Right. So that's why I try to like stick with something like that. So if you want, we can go over mine, just to kind of
Sure.
see the reasoning I have for mine. I didn't put my sideboard in here because I messed up, so I'll tell you what that is. So for your Gar Saxon deck, I'm just like 3 Covert Strength, because you can always that's an easy way of giving experience tokens out, right? And like that's what Gar wants. Also, you can heal, which is really nice.
Yeah.
And playing that on Gar Saxon himself is kind of silly. I went with triple Inferno 4, still good. Triple Devotion. That way you can kind of outlast. Like the whole theory here is kind of just a little bit mid-rangey, leaning towards aggro. It's just try to get in there as much as you can with your upgrades. And Devotion gives you the +1/+1 and +2. +1 because of Gar Saxon's ability, and you restore 2, which is really silly. I did triple Force Choke just to have some sort of control in there because I don't have a lot. Triple Brutal Traditions because, man, that is just built for Gar Saxon. Kill a unit, play it from your discard pile is so good, especially for only 2. Triple Follower of the Way. Triple Mandalorian Armor because there's a lot of Mandalorians, and it's so good on Gar Saxon. It's so silly. Triple House Cast Soldier, just kind of get more Mandalorians, more low-cost units in there. Triple Client. 1, he becomes a 3/5 with the shield, and 2, just like being able to heal again. Try to outlast. Got the triple Black Sun Kiraxes. For Space Sentinels, you'll see that all the space units are Sentinels, so except for the TIE Fighters. Triple Childson, because you actually have a ton of blue units in here. Double Takedown for a little bit of control. Double Lompike, because you can actually start giving yourself the shields. And they're very good for like Super Commando squads, where you just give them a shield, give someone else a shield, whatever. Just distributing out shields, and also being able to smuggle is pretty nice. I did triple system patrol craft because it's just all space sentinels. Really good against like triple dark raid decks, let me tell you. Triple super commando squad because those things are bonkers with Gar Saxon. Just slap a brutal tradition on them and watch them go to town. Triple clan Saxon gauntlet, experience pretty obvious. Triple rivals fall. Double Crag and Gore, because anytime they attack your base, you just slap a shield on someone and now they get extra attack, which is actually very, very nice for Gar Saxon. I think that's a very underrated card for Gar Saxon decks. And then triple Vizsla in case it gets thin game and you need 8 attack. In the side, I'd probably, I would definitely have some of the clan challengers. I didn't throw them in here just because the curve is kind of wonky. So I definitely have like triple clan challengers, possibly some like power of the dark sides in case you needed it. Maybe a little bit more, maybe some like power failures in just case you're going crazy with those, or maybe another like arm to the teeth or something if you needed it.
Yeah, I like it.
So I hope you're kind of saying, like, I try not to have like a crazy amount of like, I mean, Childson's in there, right? So you want that juicy. Now I'm a 7/6. Have fun dealing with that kind of thing. So I didn't want to include like a crazy amount of like red and black cards in there.
Nice, definitely, yeah. I totally blanked that on Childson, especially since if you're able to get his ability active, Gar Saxon just adds that extra +1 +0 there. So that's actually really nice add on there for the list.
Yeah, at worst, if he had one blue card, he's a 4/3, right? 4/3 something, which is just the echo-based defender. But definitely consider Crag and Gore. He's very nice in a Gar Saxon deck.
Nice.
All right. Well, my take is a little bit different. I try to be not as true, I guess, to your original thing. So left the one resilient in there. I will be frank and tell you I'm not sold on that card, but I guess as a one of, it's like that. It's a filler need. I have the triple Infernals, 2 Dr. Pershings, 2 Brutal Traditions. I am agreeing with Alex in the aspect of that card is insanely bonkers. I just don't know if I need 3 of them, but it is an insanely bonkers card. So that's kind of up to you. I did go with the 3 Followers of the Way, 3 Mando Armors, 3 Incinerator Troopers, because those are my absolute favorite cards. And once you upgrade them in this deck, like it's immediately, I can give something to it, do something with it.
The Brutal Traditions, there are 4/4 that attacks first.
Yep, and
mini Han.
It's like, I don't know. They're very good in their niche set. 3 Power of the Dark Sides, 2 of the Clients, 3 of the Black Sun Kiraxes, 3 Lieutenant Chilsons, 2 Takedowns, 2 Palm or Lam Pikes, and they're in there again. Like, it's a smuggle thing, right? You could put them in there for a smuggle, and they only cost 1 more. They come out, and they could give shields to bring out Gar Saxon's ability. 2 Fell the Dragons. What are they? 3 Dark Sabers, 2 Gideons. Because I think Gideon, when my son and I built the Kira deck. Okay, my son built the Kira deck and I helped them tweak it. Right, and the Gideon was like a missed opportunity, I think, in that deck a little bit. I think Gideon is actually going to have more play than I originally thought. 5 drops are just weird for me, I think. Like the super commandos are great, but 5 drops in general are always kind of that weird curve like situation. Clan challengers are in there as well as the super commandos, then Gar Saxon's own gauntlet and Fen Ra, baby, because if you happen to have a Dark Saber or a Brutal Tradition or a Mando Armor in hand, and you just want your Fen to live and hope they don't have a Rival's Fall. It's so good. Only 1 Rival's Fall. Again, I could waffle. Like, to me, I would dump Resilience and put a second one in there, but I know you like that Resilience card a lot. So, sideboard.
I find that when I'm playing Gar Saxon, and like other players want to like take them out immediately, having that extra health buff on him just really helps. And then I can, and it's for one cost, right? Just giving him 3 extra health and then giving him an attack boost on top of that. Like really helps Gar stay as a good leader unit, and then you can buff him later on with other stuff as the game goes along. But yeah, I totally agree with you with everything else. Yep.
It also works well with like the super commando units, right? Because they give them the extra health, and now they're sentinel. So I like the Gideon as well. I considered it's just like there's a lot of like these are just good enough at 5 costs to be in this deck, but like they're not like overwhelmingly incredible at 5. That was a good call though. I like the Gideon.
Yeah, Gideon fits with the theme, right? You know, it's weird. None of us like you didn't put Snoke in yours, did you?
No. I didn't. I wanted legendary and also the game to go that far.
Yeah, like it's the same thing. Like logically, this deck is like an early and mid game deck, right? Like it's a mid range deck that's like working towards the like being somewhat aggro, and like I don't know, like I think Gar is in a very weird place. I'll tell you, I've not played Gar red. I've only played Gar yellow. That's the only Gar I've played is the yellow one. And I know you have a double blue Gar one that you talked about, Alex, and I think
it is fun.
It is very fun. You get to play Second Chance, which I now have 5 of them, I guess, because I've pulled stupid many of those.
Have 5 Second Chance, but I have 7 Mandalorian units.
Well, I don't know. So that's kind of, anyway, this is kind of our critique. So this is our for fun segment, right? Like we're not saying your deck is bad, JJ. This is just different. I did not go the cheap route with my deck with the Dark Sabers. So sorry, you could re-include them, and that's just because if I'm building a deck, like I want a Dark Saber for my Mandos and for my Gar Saxon, and maybe it's just a little bit of a pie in the sky dream for me. Because
I did consider a Dark Saber, but the biggest thing for me was the cost, right? Because like at least the way I have my original deck set up is that I wanted to have a lot of cheap units that I can play, so that way when I'm building up, I probably just go up to about probably like 7 resources, and then just hold, and then at that point, as I'm drawing cards and stuff, I can just constantly play cheap units that I can quickly upgrade with a lot of different things, and just like kind of overwhelm on that point there. But having like a big swing like this, like for me, the biggest thing that I have sideboarded was the Fallen Lightsaber, because it just offers that 3/3 buff, right? And you're not getting the ability, but it's a pretty big buff to put on especially like a leader unit like Gar Saxon when he comes out. And it does help just make him that threat on the board for just 3 points. But Darksaber definitely has that advantage with its ability there, and it's a 4/3 that you're getting added onto your leader. So it's definitely a card I probably will keep as at least as a sideboard option, just to help like buff my squad, especially if I already have a unit that's already highly upgraded, like a Fen Rao. That comes out, and I have enough cards to play the Darksaber on Fen. I mean that just makes him a beast. He becomes a 10 10/9 with just that one single upgrade. I mean that's really good.
Awesome. Well, thank you all for joining us for our For a Cause segment where we do something fun, something non-meta. Could be meta. Maybe it'll be meta. Maybe JJ will take one of these decks and it'll be meta. Who knows?
Just win the Baltimore Open with it, JJ. It'll be fine.
Yeah. Come on, baby. You better get your butt up there. How far is it to Baltimore from your house?
It's about 4 hours, roughly.
Oh, come on, man. Yeah. Come on. That's nothing.
That's not too bad at all.
That's a whole drive to Chicago. That's easy.
All right. Hold on. So, Alex, should we can commit podcast funds to pay for JJ's ticket to enter? If JJ wins, yeah, a little bit, yeah,
like $6.
No, I got more than $6. How about this? I got $40 on the fact that if you go and whatever money you win, you redistribute back to the podcast. JJ, we'll buy your ticket. You want to go?
Let's do it, buddy.
All right. You better buy your ticket after this. I'll reimburse you. I do. We have a little bit of funds. So speaking of funds, if you do want to support the podcast, we do have a Patreon. We are in the middle of revamping our Patreon. We're not KTOD. So like, just so you know, we're not some like super awesome, amazing, competitive thing. You know, they have a great podcast. They do a great, show. If you want like ultra competitive stuff, then support them. We just say, hey, want to support us to help pay for the cost of hosting. Like, or if JJ needs a new microphone or a new headset, which I think I'm about having to buy him a new headset. So maybe we won't buy you a ticket. Maybe I'll buy you a headset instead. But anyway, like, so if you want to endorse the show, we do have a Patreon. You're welcome to go subscribe. Like I said, we are going to do, so if we get enough subscribers, we will start doing like monthly shows where you can interact with us, special stuff that you get. Right now, we're giving all our deck techs away for free. Like, maybe we'll put them for Patreons only to begin with. I don't know. I like
gatekeeping.
I don't like that. Like, I just rather give everybody everything. Like, to me, it just seems like, hey, let's all go enjoy the game. If you want to donate to us and give us a little bit of money to help run the cost of, the podcast. I mean, there is blood, sweat, and tears that go into this podcast. I spend on average anywhere between 5 and 10 hours a week, just prepping and doing different segments and different things like that, and working with people and play testing and stuff like that. So, if you want to donate to the show, hey, great. If you don't, no big deal. Our podcast will never be behind a paywall. It will always be for free for everybody. We're socialists at heart, I guess. There you go. Maybe that's the problem. I'm too much of a socialist to buy into that. But
with the piracy flag in the background.
There you go. I don't know. I'm not a capitalist. I don't know. Whatever you want to call me, I'm definitely not a capitalist. So anyway, whatever. I hate talking about money. I like to talk about the podcast and how much fun we have as a group together. We do have an amazing podcast. If you're newer and just joining us, thank you for subscribing to our YouTube channel. If you are listening to us, subscribe to our YouTube channel. Help us get, I don't know, let's make a goal. Let's say I would like to get to 500, and then we'll do a giveaway. And I don't know, I have an extra legendary. I'll send a legendary out. Help us hit 500. Hold on, I better double check, make sure we're not at 500. Before I say that,
we also say that it won't be like second chance unless it's like specifically requested.
Sure. I don't know. I don't have very many expensive ones left, so I'm down to like my cheap ones.
Have an extra Snoke, an extra couple Mandalorians, and another couple second chances, an extra Rey, and an extra Great Dragon.
All right, so we are at 350 subscribers. So I'll tell you what, let's hit 600. Help us hit 600 subscribers, and then we'll do a raffle. We'll do a raffle, I guess, and then people who can comment on the video, and we'll give away. You said a Snoke or a Mando, one of the two. We'll do that. So,
oh yeah.
So awesome. Well, anyway, thank you all. Join us on YouTube. That's where we're posting our extra content nowadays. And join our Discord. Do whatever you want. We will be back next week with another amazing episode. We'll be doing a little bit more convention prep for next week. So we'll be talking a little bit more about some of the meta decks and prepping for the convention. If you're going to Gen Con, if you're going to Gen Con and you want to buy Tanner an extra one of those Gen Con packs, I would be super happy, but I don't have like $800 to pay you. So, but I would like one of those Gen Con packs because I don't think I'm going to get down there to get one, unfortunately.
It's frustrating because we both want the Palpatines like more than anything else. So it's not like, that'd be, we'll just split something. It's like, no, we want the same cards.
Well, I'll tell you what, we could split something because I could take the Maul. I like Maul. You could have the Palp, I guess. I'll take the Maul and the Vader. There you go. No? You're getting the Palp. You want the Vader over the Palp? Give me Maul and Palp.
No,
then.
I want the Kylo. I only got one of those.
All right, fair enough. You can have the Kylo then. I don't know. Like, the Palp is the best looking card in the whole set. But we're a little biased here. So all right, let's wrap up. Thank you all for joining us tonight. We will see you next week, 9 p.m. Eastern, for another amazing episode of Planning Phase Syndicate. Thank you all. Have a good night, and we'll see you on the flippity flop.
Have a good night, everybody.
Thanks for listening.